Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka made a historic trip to Kangu Kajaramogi to go and mourn with late Raila family. And this trip was politically significant because I was paying attention to it. The only thing is that I was up and down, and of course I can make it. You know, you guys are my family, so I can also tell you. So God was giving us Bold Junior. So yeah, so we were up and down the hospital, and thank God for the breakthrough and for the prayers. We now have Bold Junior. You know, you are my family, and I think I can tell you that. So that's why I didn't cover this, but I followed it. And one thing that was very clear is that in the political, Kalonzo has been with Raila in the political trench for long, for very long. So when people talk about Raila's friends, I sometimes get amused by people trying to equate, Ruto gave Raila state funeral. I don't know, Ruto supported Raila to go to AU, Raila didn't make it. I always ask these people, do you guys know that under the handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila was AU infrastructure envoy for 5 years, and it is William Ruto that made sure that Raila lost that position. You know, some of these things. And so, in that funeral, I saw a need, not a need, I saw a move, an intention for the Luo nation to consider Kalonzo Musyoka in 2027. And that is what I'm going to explain in this podcast. But first, guys, I am back to you. For last 10 days, we have been running a mission, a project in Migori. That project is coming to an end, and we are supposed to finish it this Tuesday. For those who are hearing for the first time, we are building a house, two houses, a house for Bildad and his 4 children. This is a single father of 4 who got involved in an accident some time back, broke his spinal cord, and was actually came back home in a wheelchair. So the mother, who is the wife was supposed to help, disappeared and went remarried. So he was forced to do the manual jobs, despite the fact that alikuwa ako disabled, alikuwa anafanya kazi. And that video really warmed our hearts. So when I sent my team, we established kwamba alikuwa na shida ya nyumba sana. And that is what we have been doing. And I needed to update you that hiyo nyumba yake kubwa imefika hapa. This is the house yake. And we are also building the other one for, if you check this other, we're also building for Vijana, which is also underway. So they're going to be finished by Wednesday. We shall all be there. Now, the final lap of this was to achieve 2 things. Number 1, to pay fees for 2 children. Among those 4, 2 were for secondary school, were really in need of school fees. And we also need to buy for Bildad a wheelchair. Wheelchair yake yenye ulikuwa naona hapo imeharibika sana, and trying to look around. And even if one of you can have a wheelchair, you can also donate me by the way. Kama uko nayo, unaweza nipatia. You can also donate for me so that nimpeleke on Wednesday when we are going there. That's why we are just going to do a 100 bob challenge as the final lap of this project, so that we can help build that. And may God bless you, and thank you very much for responding. It has really been long overdue. It has taken us long because we were building 2 houses. So hiyo ingine tulipewa mabati, but we needed to move with what we have, tumalize hii, tufanye, ndio sasa tukaanza kujenga hiyo ingine. And it's actually on the way. I made some interesting observations, and I know this thing happened, and maybe we did not pay attention to. I'll just want to bring them to your attention at this point. Kalonzo arrived in Kisumu a day before heading to Kangu Kajaramogi, and he was received at the airport. I saw another unusual guest there, the governor of Vihiga, Otichilo. Yes, I don't know what you make of this, but this governor is an ODM governor. This governor is an ODM second-term governor who is not really, who is not going to seek re-election because he's serving his second term. Alisavia kwanza. He was the first governor, then was defeated in 2017. I think Moses Akaranga was the governor then. Then he came back and won in 2022. So Otichilo was present there. And this is to show you that as people look around, they're opening chances so that you never know who is going to become the next president. Even this Kalonzo can still become the next, even though the state is working so hard to tell you that supporting Kalonzo is supporting an opposition. The other observation I saw in his entourage, there was two Gachagua allies. Mukunji, who is the Manyata MP from Embu, and Cecil Karaoke, who is also a politician allied towards DCP. She once spent together Gachagua, even just she worked with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta from Nyandarua. And the rumor, I think she vied for governor in the last general election, could be in 2017 or so. She vied for governor there. I also saw her presence. Now, there were reports that Kalonzo was supposed to go to Kango Kajaramogi with the other opposition leaders. Now, I think Matiang'i has gone, went with his own alienda style yake. Nani had gone with a contingent of lawyers, a spokesman. I think this is, if you ask me, this is spokesman, the guy from Bukusu. I've forgotten the name. The guy who was supposed to be the spokesman, Mukesa Kitui, that is. Alfred Wamalo also went. And I think it's only the Rigathi Gachagua and probably Muturi who are waiting. And we understand that they were not to go together. They will go bit by bit. Kalonzo's reception was overwhelming. And Raila family really responsibly dignified Kalonzo's visit there. This is a man, and I believe that if you look at this, the number of cows, it took 100 cows, and Mama Ida was shocked. 100 cows. He took 100 cows to Bondo. And did video of making his way to a Poda farm. Really. Even the way, I think the people who told him to go, akiwa amevaa hiyo nguo inakaa the military regalia or an army regalia as a soldier, is a soldier who has gone to mourn a comrade. And I think that was a good advice because Raila was a comrade with Kalonzo in the trenches. I in this podcast, I've always said, if Raila supporters are supposed to vote based on who was a true friend of Raila, no one matches Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. No one matches Steve Kalonzo Musyoka. No, not Ruto. Not. Since Ruto differed with Raila in 2010 after he was thrown out of cabinet, Ruto spent the next 15 years abusing Raila and was a staunch enemy of Odinga. So really, if you say, and you see, look at, immediately after Raila dies, the president goes on top of Khan saying, now that the person who could defeat me is that man. Who does that? Even though the family is hearing, the family feels like this person is celebrating the death. And that indeed is something that you cannot undergo. And you will strongly agree with me that Kalonzo visit stood out. Amongst zile zingine, Kalonzo visit stood out. Now, there are some other people in Bondo that were to tell you that Kalonzo visit was dignified and Odinga sent a strong signal. Odungiranda is the chairperson of the Luo Council of Elders. Yes, he spoke at Raila's funeral the day Raila was being buried. He spoke and he was telling people that Tukai broad-based, upon the Baba Lituacha and this and that. He was also in Bondo amongst the team that was supporting, that were receiving Kalonzo. Then apart from him, there was Sea Governor Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o. I want to show you these two photos. In this first photo, Anyang' Nyong'o received Kalonzo in Kisumu, in his Kisumu office. This is before Kalonzo proceeded to Kang'oka Jaramogi. The reception was overwhelming. This is proof. These are the people that understand the kind of relationship between Raila and Kalonzo. Leave alone the shouting wangas and you know, Mbadi. These are people who are just making noise and they cannot look at politics from a deeper perspective. And then in Bondo, he was received in Kisumu by Anyang' Nyong'o, and in Bondo, and I'm also told that Anyang' Nyong'o also went to Opoda Farm. But then in Kang'oka Jaramogi, that is where Orengo was also waiting for Kalonzo. And we listen to the speeches. Ruth Odinga, who openly rebukes the two-term chanting battalion, was clear. And if you listen to two speeches from Kalonzo's presence there. Before we look at those speeches, there's something that Kalonzo did. And this is crowning Junior in Bondo.
That struggle must continue. So I'm giving you the charge today. These are instruments of power. Hii ni upinde na iko pia mishale yake ya kulinda jamii ya Jaramogi na jamii ya Raila na jamii ya Wajaluo wote na Wakenya pamoja. I know you can do it. You have the passion. We will stand with you. Kwa hivyo Mungu awe nawe. Thank you. Now you have to try and do this. Naweka moja hapo namna hii. Elekeza pale. Nashika pa. Ni hatari hiyo. Joey. Thank you. Asante sana. And I'll give you the shield as well. This one you have to unavaa hapa ikienda vita.
Yes. I've been saying why this coronation was critical for me, I'm paying attention to it, is this. You need to understand that while Kalonzo was there, Odour Odinga was absent. And Odour Odinga is the party leader of ODM. I don't know whether he was invited or whether he was not there. But of course, his absence is also understandable because he was somewhere else. I'm going to show you something he said. And then this coronation is also like, umeenda kuzika mtoto, unaenda kuenda kumwona rafiki yako. What is customary? What is African? The African culture is you support the family. Kama mlikuwa kwa vita, unachukua mtoto wake moja, unaenda na yeye vita. So that is what Kalonzo did. And I saw people asking, why did he do that? Why did he do that? You know, I don't want to say, don't tell me that it just happened by the way for the sake of it. Everything was organized. Kwani kukuja na hizo vitu, so pia kukuja nazo. Kwani do you think those big things were just found somewhere and then given? He's simply building the profile of Junior. And it is a signal. It's a very clear signal that contrary to what other people think, really, Odinga family is not the enemy. Now, I wanted to listen to Ruth Odinga. You've got to love it, but Ruth is saying things that should be said. These are the things that should be said, but people don't want them to be said.
His Excellency, I know the loss you've gone through. That was one of your best friends. And the two of you really looked after Kenya. You know, you can only be a warrior and you choose only a warrior to go with to war. Why Raila Odinga used to go all the time to war with Kalonzo? It's because he knew he's the warrior he can go with to war. And I know it's a lonely path, but don't worry. There'll be a warrior who's going to come out. You will not be alone in this journey to ensure that Kenya continues. For me, I know, even Azimio hajavunjwa ama mlivunja. Ongea, wewe ni lawyer nani? Or treasurer. Ya Azimio bado iko. But I want to talk that as you even have the Azimio as it was, as you have Wiper as a party, you can see Wiper being strong. I can assure you as Kenyans that ODM will remain strong, ODM will remain united, and ODM will remain one. And I can tell you that ODM is going to any negotiation table as a strong, one, united ODM. We will not allow ourselves to be weakened. This is a party like the party of the Kenya People's Union, which was started by Odinga, which was a party for the people, of the people, and by the people. And so that is the same tenet of which we have ODM. ODM is a party for the people. And because it's not a cash party. Huwezi kununua watu tu juu na chini na nini. ODM is not a cash party.
That ODM cannot be swallowed. And they have said it. I even saw Ruth Odinga saying that ODM cannot be swallowed. The total people who are saying that ODM should start chanting Tutam now is swallowing. You know what will happen? ODM chants Tutam until 2027. And then William Ruto must play with the psychology of these people and say, I'm going to fight through that ticket. And people marvel and think that is it. But after that election, he says, he goes for those party leaders or leaders of that party and tells them, you guys need to follow that party for a more united party so that you take cabinet slots. That's the kind of business that happened with Kina Musalia. And ODM must see that. Ruth Odinga's message was in conformity with James Agre Orengo. And I've been saying that nasikia kelele tu, nasikia Junet, so they are really making a lot of noise.
I join Ruth in saying, let us not kill political parties. Let us not kill political parties. Na ODM, sisi kama watu wa ODM, msifanye makosa ya kumezwa. Makosa ya kumezwa. Makosa ya kumezwa. Makosa ya kumezwa. Kadu ilimezwa. PNU ilimezwa. DP ilimezwa. Jubilee karibu imezwe. In a strong Kenya to come, we need a strong Wiper. But we need also a strong ODM. Not controlled by anybody in power, but controlled by the laws of the land. Sawa sawa.
ODM is a party for the people. And because it's not a cash party. Huwezi kununua watu tu juu na chini na nini. ODM is not a cash party. ODM ni party ya watu. And we will take it back to the people and let the people decide. But the people are going to decide, and I can hear the wave coming. They are deciding that ODM inabaki na iko huku na ODM will go. Come 2027 tutaona vile tutafanya, lakini tutaingia kwa any negotiation, any election with having a strong ODM.
And three times Kalonzo has said, nakuachia wewe ndugu yangu Raila. In 2013, in 2017, And in 2022, where he said, I don't even need a position. If there's a principled man in Kenya, like Raila Odinga, is Kalonzo Musyoka. I also want to say this again about Kalonzo Musyoka. This guy has been a vice president. You know,
But I always want to hear the voice of two. The voice of Orengo and the voice of Anyang' Nyong'o. And Orengo is coming out clearly that this is what it means. I would want to ask someone, if today Orengo tells Luo Nation, guys, Kalonzo has stood with us for 15 good years. Until by 2022, he didn't even want a position. He was supposed to take some fringe position there and left it for Martha Karua to be a running mate. Well, he had an option to become the running mate by then. Who else is a better friend than Kalonzo? Show me one. Show me one. Who else is a better friend, political friend at the moment? Kwa watu wote wanavai, Kalonzo ranks above Matiang'i in terms of those who are close to Raila. That is the truth. And so, it is very clear. And that is why Oburu was absent there. But there is something Oburu is saying the other end. That, hakuna kumezwa. Yes, people are in broad-based. The broad-based must continue, but the chances must be left very open for everything to fall into place. I can comfortably make the following statements based on Kalonzo reception in Bondo. And deep down, I think Odinga family needs their stars. And Raila family needs their stars. Quite a number of people expected that they were going to be consumed by the emotions of the moment. But day by day, they continue to show the sobriety that is needed. You just need to be sober. Selling Ruto in Luo Nation as best choice simply because of state funeral is going to collapse in the next few months. You must show us the two things. And you know, by next year, everyone is going to go campaign mode full. From January next year, don't expect it kama kitu hajafanyika kitafanyika. No. From next year, Ruto will start looking to where there are more votes. That's why he will take more money. And now as Nyanza, with the absence of Raila, he's not seeing more votes there. He's seeing a divided vote. And so he's not going to take more votes there. So he's already disorganized in terms of how he's going to run his politics moving forward. So that means the state funeral battalion chanting two times because ameizika baba yetu, because alisupport baba yetu tukienda EU, alisupport wapi na hakupata. Kalonzo has the best chance to seek Raila's vote. And this is what he needs to do. Let him be clothed by his wiper. Let him go to talk to Raila constituency. Go to those funerals. Go to those churches. Attend, go and hold rallies there. Go meet with the governors. Talk to those MPs. Just go out of your way. Call them, talk to them, visit them. Make a visit. Those MPs have their home. Wapigie, waende huko. Kutana na raia. Kalonzo cannot fail to get 100 people to be hosted, probably in, even Orengo to host for him a delegation from Siaya. Then he leaves there, goes to Kisumu, seeks maybe another governor, hosts a Kalonzo delegation there. Live there, go to Migori, do that the same to Homa Bay. Talk to people. Nyanza, Luo Nation is not very hostile for Kalonzo. They don't have any reason to be hostile on Kalonzo. Even if people are planting hate on Rigathi, but Kalonzo doesn't fall in that bracket. And lastly, I feel Orengo and Nyong'o has a chance to sell Kalonzo in those 2 counties. Yes. Something's going to happen. I don't want to say it, but even if it is not said, it is what is playing out. The Omabit battalion are chanting totem, morning to evening, starting from Opondokaloma to Wanga to Bensouda, Ivo Bara, you know, all those people, they're thinking about totem. Lakini huku Kisumu na Nyanza na Siaya, mambo ni tofauti. And they're going to be very strategic. And that is why I say, those who, you know, immediately Kalonzo left, before Kalonzo went, there was another narrative that was planted by media here, that there is a power sharing in that opposition team, that Kalonzo is presidential candidate, probably the Matiang'i, but in that arrangement, Kalonzo Rigathi takes 50% of that government, and Martha Karua is the prime minister. So before Kalonzo went, people were asking, what does Kalonzo have for the Luo nation? Why? Because I can tell you, he's one of the formidable candidates that William Ruto is going to face. Yes, he might be quiet, and people have seen him saying we might not receive the change that we want, but in terms of the strength of the numbers and the experience and the visibility and what is needed for the top seat, Kalonzo stands a big chance. Thank you.